Hey, so listen. Here is one of the biggest misconceptions. Is that I'm trying to find myself. Oh, you should find yourself. Listen, stop trying to find yourself. You ain't got to find yourself. Because every time you find yourself and something happens, you got to find it again. You know what I mean? Don't try to find yourself. Just be whatever you are. Just be prepared for this day. So whatever happens in this day, don't be so attached to an identity that you can't figure it out and then you can't overcome it. Because every time we find ourselves, what we are doing, we are creating a new identity based on what we just been through. And you know what you just been through? Something else is going to come. Something else is going to happen. Something else will be experienced, and then you're going to find yourself again. Every time you find yourself, something will come and destroy it. Seriously. So a lot of times, every time we go through a bad breakup, a bad divorce, a bad this, a bad that, financial, I'm trying to find myself. Stop trying to find yourself and just be what the day needs. Be whatever the day requires of you. Be whatever life in this moment requires of you. Because I think a lot of us are messed up, still trying to figure out who we are. Don't worry about who you are. That's going to come later at the end. That's going to come later on when you have fought the good fight. You have finished the race. That's going to come. Who you are is going to be in that moment. But I think a lot of us are trying to know who we are so much that we are, when you are so connected to an identity, you try to stay, within the boundaries and the lines of that identity that you can't figure out things for what they are. You are trying to figure it out based on that identity. You are trying to make it so specific. Who you think you are and what you think you're doing. You are trying to make it so precise that you're going to F it up. And then you're going to find yourself again. Listen, stop trying to find yourself. Just be whatever you need. I'm like, seriously. Because I think a lot of us are going through all these problems and situations that if you didn't have a self, you'll figure it out. A lot of us are going through all these health issues, all this trauma stuff. If you stop being yourself, if you stop trying to be yourself or trying to figure out yourself, it's going to pass. But the self creates a whole bunch of memories. The self creates a whole bunch of attachment. The self creates a whole bunch of crap that's attached to everything that happened to you, everything that you have been through. Stop trying to find that. Because what you've been through is not you. It's just your experiences. And your experiences ain't you. Something that you had. Something that you saw on your journey. Something that you touched and tasted. I'm telling you, man, I think a lot of us are trying to figure this out. I'm trying to find myself. I haven't found myself yet. I ain't looking for it either. That's God. Let God do his job. Let God find myself, whatever in him or her, it, and whatever it is. But myself is not my business. Myself is to understand this current moment requires this of me. This current moment requires stillness. This requires a fight. This requires to move. This requires to be silent. This requires to do what I have to do. Each moment deserves a different perspective. Not the same old nonsense over and over and over again that you overthink and you overfight and you over this, overstimulated, over angry, over this, because you are addicted to a self, which is the ego. You have to understand how to acknowledge the ego and live in the spirit. The spirit is now. That's what the spirit is now. That's all it is. The ego is past. The ego is where you're from, your culture, your tradition, which family you in, this, all based on the past. Today's not based on the past, it's based on the present. If you're going to try to find yourself, then in this present is not necessary. I hope you understand what I'm saying. I'm just saying.